In this video, I'm going to be going over the plans that you shouldn't be doing and also the rules that you should definitely not be ignoring. I know it's so tempting to go and buy yourself merch as soon as you walk into Disneyland parks. I am always so tempted. The merch, I'm there for it. Unless it's limited edition, I highly recommend that you don't buy merch first thing in the morning. You're going to have to lug that around all day and it could get wet. You could buy something that's really bulky, so it's going to get in your way and you're going to get really annoyed having to carry it. And then you have to consider where you're going to be putting that merch while you're on a ride. So is somebody going to be standing holding the merch for you if they're not wanting to ride a particular ride with you? So unless it's limited edition and you'll know that particular piece of merch is going to fly off the shelves if you don't buy it first thing when you get to the parks, maybe hang on towards later in the day or as you're leaving the park. The shops remain open, so go and snag yourself that piece of merch as you leave. You may have been really lucky with the Disneyland Paris app and managed to book yourself loads of restaurant reservations that you've been dying to do in the parks. So you may have managed to snag yourself a character breakfast and then lunch at Bistro Chez Remy and then dinner at Downtown Restaurant in the Art of Marvel Hotel. It may seem like a really good idea 60 days out before your holiday. But those are 3 really heavy meals that you're going to be eating in a short amount of time. So a buffet breakfast, you can't resist just filling your plate. The Mickey waffles, they get me every time. That is a large meal that you're going to be eating, and then potentially you don't want to go and have a full slap up meal in Bistro Chez Remy just a few hours later. And the weather could be really nice and you're going in the middle of summer and it's really hot, and then you going to be in another restaurant and eating another meal. Probably not the best feeling to have when you're walking around a park and having a really busy day, getting on all the rides that you want to do, meeting characters that you want to see, seeing the parades with a really full stomach. Probably not the best idea. So consider spreading those booking reservations out a little bit. So maybe do breakfast and dinner or one a day. Just spread those out a little bit. Also, you need to consider the cost. Those 3 restaurant reservations that you've been really excited to book and you're going to do them can sting your wallet quite heftily on your Disney holiday and will take quite a large chunk of your budget and be put into those 3 meals. Plus, if you do manage to snag ones that you want and then there are a couple that you don't want to do, don't forget to cancel them as early as you can to give other people the chance to get that reservation that you didn't want. If you can think of anything else that people should stop doing in Disneyland Paris, please drop them in the comments below, as I'd love to hear them. This one for me is something that I am really conscious about when we take our twins to the Disney parks and when we watch Disney Illuminations or Disney Dreams when it comes back next month. And that is holding our twins up so that they can see the fireworks and the illuminations. But we are really conscious when we are watching them to only hold them to the level that our heads are, so we don't block people's views behind us. And as tempting as it is, and we see so many people doing it, so they will hoist their children up and pop them on their shoulders. And yes, you have paid really good money to go and watch the fireworks, but so have the people behind you. So just have a little bit of consideration and don't block people's views. Another one that we see a lot of, and again myself I'm guilty of as well, is I will hold my phone so I can record the illuminations. Just be aware that as you're holding your phone or camera up, you are blocking people's views behind, and maybe get there a little bit earlier than you would normal to try and snag space at the front so you don't have to hold your children up or hold your camera or phone up as high as you normally would to get over the crowd to see what's happening. Get closer to the front and your children won't need to be hoisted up as high to see them. Something that I have seen over and over again at Disney parks is parents arguing with cast members for not letting their children on a particular ride because they're a little bit too short. It's something that we are highly aware of at the moment, as our twins really love the rides at Disneyland Paris, but there are a number of them that they can't quite do. They're just a little bit under the minimum height requirements, so we just avoid that queue and that ride altogether. The rules are there for a reason and for your child's safety. If the child isn't quite high enough, it is for a particular reason. So there may be a pull down bar that they may be too short and it will hurt them in the ride. It could be a really dangerous situation. So don't ignore the rules that are there. This next one I don't see too much of at Disneyland Paris, and that is the general public being rude to cast members. Cast members are there just doing their job and are probably the most friendliest customer service people that you will ever come across in the world, and that goes for all of the Disney parks. But again, they're there just doing their job, so please don't get too frustrated with them if they're giving you an answer because they are adhering to the rules of the park. There is no need to be rude to them, especially if they're being super helpful and trying to do their best for you. Just remember, they are human beings at the end of the day, so there's no need to be rude to them. Please consider subscribing. I hope you found this video useful, and if you are planning a trip to Disneyland Paris soon, please check out my next video on the top do's and don'ts when planning on a trip to Disneyland Paris.